Welcome back, guys.
Hey, nice to see you guys again.
After
entertain.
there we are. Yeah, let's stick with entertain. After Bastion, I think it's about time I jump into a game that I'm a little more familiar with.
You did Bastion.
After doing Bastion, after us doing Bastion, after we did Bastion.
You mean Sonic?
Bastion's over.
No, at this point, Bastion is in full swing.
Right.
You are one drunk person.
Okay, now, with regards, it's time for Mega Man. We are going to be covering the Mega Man series.
Super fighting robot.
And we're going to be starting, of course, with Mega Man 1 for the NES. For these games, at least right now, I'm currently playing this one through the Anniversary Collection on the PS2. That's why you can see the 2004 in text at the bottom, beginning of the title screen. But anyway, here we are. The simple gist of the game, you are as Michael stated, a super fighting robot named Mega Man.
Mega Man!
Created by Dr. Light.
Dr. Light.
We're going to be stopping the evil Dr. Wily, who has created, who has sabotaged 8 of Dr. Light's helper robots into the first 8. 6 robot masters.
This is the first game.
Powered Up adds the other 2. My bad.
Oil Man
and Time Man.
Time Man, yes.
This is the only game that will actually have at 6. The future games will be starting the trope at 8.
Yeah.
And what I will be showing you is the preferred path, because as you can see, between the 6, you're free to pick which level you want to take down. I'll be showing you the preferred path, or one that's preferred by most, commonly used. This is going to be Cutman. Cutman here is, of course, specializing in
cutting people.
Or
himself.
With scissors on the top of his head.
In the comics, though, I do gotta say, he's one of my more favorite characters just because of at least his personality trope that he kind of portrays.
Which one is that?
He's more of like a anxious, scaredy cat. He almost reminds me of Luigi.
Oh, okay.
Almost, except he has more balls.
But quick impression of this game before I cover the level is this game for me was hard to complete.
I think that's just an all-around thing.
It's very Mega Man games have a tendency to be difficult, and this one was definitely pushing my buttons at least halfway through.
I got to experience and play through because I've played the Mega Man games before. At least I've attempted to. Once again, they are very hard, and it was a pleasure to watch Mark really get angry.
And I'm sure Mega Man fans know the correct way to do it, and honestly, you guys will be noticing a couple more mistakes or weapons I should have been using to get past the area, but I'm a little rusty for Mega Man 1. When I go back to Mega Man, I jump into games like 2 or 3, or more commonly the X series.
Yeah, 2 is definitely my favorite out of the 8.
It's a very
at least of the classic one.
Yeah.
A lot of people say 3 is the favorite, and I will say I like the tune in the third game, or at least the music tracks. But definitely 2, at least combat-wise and everything, I felt was. I don't know. I just feel like that one I liked more.
Yeah, the Mega Man will be getting into their soundtracks, of course.
And boy, are they good.
They are good. They're good. One of the best NES tracks in the console's lifetime.
Yeah, once again, one of my favorite bands at the moment is the Megas. They just remix Mega Man 2 soundtrack songs. Or actually, they do a lot more than Mega Man 2, but at least my favorite album consists of Mega Man 2.
The ones that people notice.
Yeah.
More important. But here we are in Cutman's stage. As opposed to a theme, I can understand, like, it's a bit confusing. Aside from the building enemies that shoot the chopping scissors at you that you need to just run past, I could tell that they were having some trouble setting up a theme for cutting, or a cutting level. So it feels very generic. The enemies that have helicopter blades to represent cutting at best, simple brick walls, and a very, what I think, kind of odd, disorienting color scheme of very putrid green.
You know, when I played through this level, and especially when I was watching you play it, because all I could think about was trying to get you to calm down, or so to speak, cool off. When I see the color schemes and everything, I remember of the bubblegum ice cream that I would eat as a kid. You know that color scheme where it's like a cotton candy, pink and blue kind of a thing?
Is that a Baskin Robbins?
No, I was thinking of like the bars, but yeah, I do believe Baskin Robbins also their ice cream has that color scheme. But once again, that's all I could think of. I was like, are they in ice? Is he in an ice cream world? Is he cutting ice cream?
No.
Is that what he cuts?
All right, as you can see, I'm a little hesitant. Looking at my health bar at the top left, about to take on Cutman, and we'll see how well that goes. Of course, he is the simplest Robot Master to beat with just your Mega Buster, because once you beat these Robot Masters, you'll be acquiring their weapon, and all of them have weaknesses.
Hey, it took me multiple tries, and that was with me using slave states. I would stop at these little sections here where they would leave you enemies purposely to like grind for health and stuff.
Which in the first game, they are much more rare. Health drops.
Health. Oh my god! I would just keep getting points, and I'd just be like, I'm done with points. I don't even know what the points are for.
This is the only game that's going to do the point system, but it was the more common thing. They wanted you to improve your score. It will be dropped later for just the sake of health or weapon power-ups. With the Mega Buster, you can kind of keep him into a corner, or at least put the pressure on him. He has a simple boomerang effect with his scissor head. But just take a couple barrages of the Mega Buster, and he should be gone now.
Like that.
And with that, you get the joyous occasion of getting his weapon. Which, sad to say, as an NES game, I don't give it too much slack for, but it does not show you what the weapon does. You have to test it out yourself.
I will say, though, that this kind of game, at least for its time, I mean, this is the original Nintendo. We're having some groundbreaking stuff here. We have, games that no longer require passwords. They have the saves in them, like the save states and stuff like that. As far as this goes, at least, not programming-wise, but at least gameplay-wise, with the whole upgrades and everything, not a lot of games were doing that during the NES. A lot of them were just like, hey, you want to play tennis? Here's some tennis. What's that? You want to jump in on some turtles? Here's some turtles to jump on, right? I mean, this is one of those games where it's just like, hey, progress through the levels. Here's some new weapons and everything. Here's some rewards for, taking the time, writing down all these passwords because God knows how many times you die.
Which the password system doesn't get introduced until 2.
Oh God! Then how the hell did you play through this?
Way back in the
Why
day,
would anybody play through this over and over again?
This would have had to have been a straight playthrough, one session.
Oh God! Who actually beat this? Who actually beat this as a kid, like by themselves with no? I'm thinking Game Genie at the time. Like, dear God! And then especially getting through it, and then doing the Dr. Wily's like castle and everything like that with the Yellow Devil and stuff like. Dear God, who did that? Please, I want to give this man a medal. A friggin' prize or something.
And here we are in Elecman's stage. By the way you can tell, he's electricity based. And here's where it's gonna be a bit odd that people playing the NES original, or even nowadays for the first time, will have trouble figuring out. But the weakness chains in most Mega Man games, a lot of them are fairly simple. But the weakness chains as in which weapon does the most damage to the enemy. And in this case, Elecman, the Robot Master who represents electricity in this game, his weakness is Cutman's weapon.
There's you testing out Cutman's weapon,
which operates in the same way Cutman does, as a boomerang. However, you do not get the ammo back. When the scissor cuts goes back to you, you don't get the ammo back. Which, by the way, all of the Robot Master's weapons have an ammo count. Your standard Mega Buster is infinite ammo. Your Robot Masters are limited, so you have to use them wisely. Save them for the Robot Master, or in this case, you can use those enemies could not be defeated by the Mega Buster alone. They can be defeated with Cutman's weapon and Elecman's. I'm pretty sure there's others. I've never experimented on it.
At least going against like the types and stuff like that, I can kind of understand why electricity would be, or at least Elecman would be weak to Cutman, because Cutman, I mean, the stage, the blades and stuff, they're made of metal, and metal conducts electricity very well.
That item right there, that is the magnet beam.
Gotta come back for it later,
Keep
kids.
that in mind. Just warning, you will need to backtrack to the stage to get the magnet beam. The game does a bad job of letting you know that in the end game, it's required to get past. You would not have known.
Yeah. I will say this though, if you go through Gutsman stage first, God help you. If you go through Gutsman stage first though, and then go to Electman, and then go to Cutman, and then go to Electman, then that you kind of, go around the whole need to come back here and redo the level.
Certain blocks, as you can see, are cutting off the pathway. The reason why is those blocks are breakable by Gutsman's weapon, which I do not own yet, and Electman's weapon, which we need to beat him in order to get.
Yay, replayability.
Replayability. For an NES title that doesn't save.
Why?
A step backward.
Why?
Well, to be fair, the Legend of Zelda game was the first one to really introduce like a save feature. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, true.
And to be honest, and back in the day, the NES games, to put a save battery in these games was very expensive.
Yeah.
And to do that would make the game itself very expensive. And being a fresh franchise, it'd be tough to do. If the game was pricey to start, it might turn a lot of people off to this series in the first place.
If I remember correctly, and I'll look it up right now, the Legend of Zelda's cartridge was actually like $10 more than a regular cartridge at the time. And that's not like, I'm not talking about inflation-wise and stuff. I'm talking about like literally $10 more after inflation. That's probably like 25 or something like that.
See what I mean by weaknesses? 3 hits and he's gone.
Goodbye. It was nice knowing you.
Of course, that was pretty close.
Yeah, very close.
But this is gonna be the general gist of the playthrough. We're gonna be going through about 2 robot masters. We took down Cutman and Electman, and we are gonna be moving on to Iceman in the next part. See you then.
See ya.